Okay, so I'm sorry if I sound a bit weird. I've got a nasty cold at the moment, but we're back at the Fazer. I've not done much with it at the moment because I wanted to street fighter it, and I've been waiting for parts which are now here. To be fair, the only parts are some new handlebars which are over there, and a front light, and we'll get rid of that. What I want you guys to see is the difference in stance. So that's the stance now, and you wait till I take that big front off and neaten it up. These bikes look so amazing as street fighters. I built one before, and yeah, they just look so much better. So at this stage, all I'm going to be doing is taking off this whole front panel, releasing the clocks, and seeing what we're left with there. And then I'll be looking at wiring up the new front headlight and new handlebars, new levers. I've got short levers. As long as they fit in this housing, they should be fine. Good thing about when I get all this off is I can give this top yoke a good polish and stuff. You got to take these caps off. Their Allen keys are underneath, in case anyone's wondering. So have a good look at the bike now. Check out the side stance, and then we'll have another look when I've done most of the work. So all I'm going to do at this point is drop this front panel. So I've taken the front panel off. It is a bit of a faff. There's lots of bolts and screws in places that are hard to get and find. What I am considering is keeping this bracket for the lamps and chopping basically most of it off. So if I chop there and chop kind of here and here on the other side, so I'll be chopping away here to here and keeping, and then here, and then keeping the bracket for the light. That should suffice, although it would be nice to have. No, I think it works well there actually, and then you'd have the light under here still. I think that's going to be the plan at this stage. My slight concern is that it's quite far out. I'd quite like it to be tucked in and up more. I'll see. I've built one before, and I made a bracket from here to here so it turned with the steering. But yeah, at this stage I'm going to polish up these top shocks and start looking at the front wiring for the new light. I'll kind of let you know what I'm doing at that stage. So I'll show you a before and after using chrome metal polish, just the cheapish one. It should get good results, as kind of last time. I can't remember where I used it last time, but it got good results. So there's the before, and I'll show you an after. So there's the after shot. Huge difference. You always have bits of pitting, but you can hardly see them. Same on the other side. Well worth doing. When I get up here, I'm going to be doing bits here as well, just trying to clean it up. Next step is I need to get rid of a lot of these cable ties and start chopping this down to how and where I need it. It's going to be a chop here, like I said before, a chop here, and I'm going to chop the whole bottom bit off, and I'm left with that one stalk that holds the clocks, which is perfect. So you'll see I've done a chop there and a chop up here with a simple hacksaw. My last chop is here, and then this frame will fall off, leaving just that, which will be fine for holding that. Then the light has to squash on somewhere down here. I might need to neaten this back a bit. If I remember rightly, last time this stuck out, and stopped the light fitting, but it's a different bike, you never know, it might fit differently. So last chop is here on this side. It doesn't take long at all with a hacksaw, and this frame will fall off. I'll show you that. So I'm cutting away at this one. I will show you what we're left with when this part falls off. So there you go, we've got a rock solid frame there for the clocks without all of the extra surrounding metal work. That's going to work very well. The light will be somewhere here as long as it covers that, otherwise I'll chop more of that away. So we're at a good stage at the moment. Yep, so here we are, front of the bike. I think it looks quite neat actually. The light will go somewhere here, which is, I'm sure I had a problem with that last time. I'm sure it's because of this bar. What I might end up doing is heat this bar and bend it up so the clocks go up higher. That is what I did last time actually. But I'm going to try and put it here at the moment. I just felt like it was too low last time. I prefer the light to be a bit higher. If that is the case, then I will heat this, bend it up and get it all higher. That worked well last time. But if you look at the shape of the bike at this stage, it lends itself so well to Street Fighter compared to what it was. I mean, it's a shame that big, huge, ugly clock has to stay, but it has to really stay for the petrol gauge, because most of the smaller clocks don't have them, and it's a bit of hassle messing around, unless I can work out how to get the petrol gauge out, and I don't think it works like that. I think it's all one electric system, it's not a separate gauge. It's gonna have to stay, but we'll see. I'm gonna start unpacking the rear light, the front light now, and kind of mock fitting it to see what it will look like. I'll show you guys kind of how we're looking. The finishing touch will be the new handlebars. They're in that bag there, they're a much better stance. I don't like these bent brackets, but you can get straight ones, but I think I'm just gonna push my new ones up a bit more so they'll be here and straighter a bit more. That should look pretty good. So yeah, I'm gonna mock up the front light at this stage. So at this stage these brackets are on, but they're not bolted up, they're loose, because all we want to see is if the light fits, if it clears the top. I like the lights to be as high as possible, I don't like them sitting too low. If they don't clear the top, my plan will be then to turn them brackets around, and then I'll be able to push them up. I'll show you what I mean. No. See, because of this bar, the light doesn't go high enough. So if I turn these around and swap them, I can then, it will be facing down, I can then push it up to kind of here and nip it up as high as I can get it. That's the next step. So now you do everything down here, you do all the wiring, and then when it's ready to bolt on, you push it up to as far as it'll go, and you tighten it all up, which gets us to the next part, which is electrics. All the old electrics are here. One's a main light, one's a high beam, one's a side light, and indicators. I'm not sure which one's which at this stage. It doesn't matter too much. This is a single bulb, that was a double bulb, so one of the earths can disappear, and we'll use the live and the live to get this going. So that's the next step. I'll show you some of the wiring stuff, but not too much, it gets a bit boring. Now this is a quick Street Fighter project. So far I've been going at it for 2 hours, and I'm gonna use some of my connectors. I'm gonna look for one that will fit straight into these old connectors, because then I can continue to use that wiring harness. The only thing that won't work, or I'll need to adapt slightly, is the earth, which I believe is this green. I'll have to split that into 2 and then connect it on both sides. Now these 3 wires around the edge, them 3 there and them 3 there, they're indicators. I'm not interested in them. I'm going to put the big indicators back on for now, so just to save hassle. It's the same connectors, they'll fit straight into the side there. So yeah, I'm going to make this project as simple as possible by switching these 3 wires here to be able to connect straight in to the original harness. So I'll see if that's doable and if it works, and then I'll catch you guys up on what that looks like. So this is what I've done with these wires. Sorry about the zooming there. Oh god, it's terrible, come on. They push straight in to the original holder, which is here. So we may as well test our work now, so I'm going to push that into there. And then if I touch that into there with the ignition on, I should get something. So let's have a look at that. Ignition on. Normal lights. This into here should give me something. And at this stage it hasn't. Out of curiosity, I'll try the other one. Nope, also nothing. I'm going to try this side, because that could be high beam. Oh, I need to see what's... That's black. That's black and blue, so that must be that side. It's got to be power. Let's see what happens. Oh, it doesn't like that. So there you go. So that is maybe high beam, maybe normal. I'll tell you how we tell. Maybe the white is the earth at this stage. So let's switch it. That's normal running. So green and blue is normal running. Green, blue and white is high beam. So for this socket right now, I need the green and the blue to be full time in there. Yep. So I'll wire that up, and we'll see what happens from there. So if we look at what I've done here, I've split the earth into 2, which in this case is the white. So one white is in there and one I've changed to black into the other side, and then I've put the opposites in. That gives me normal. Let me take this alarm off. normal headlight when the headlight's on, and high beam when the high beam's needed. So this light is now ready to go, which is great. Also, because of my connectors being like this, it's so much easier now for me to throw it all in the case, the rear case, and just remember the setup. So it's blue and black and white and green over here, but I'll just switch one wire at a time now into the the back bit here. So that's the next step. It's coming on really quick and it's looking good. So this is where we got to. Front lights on. I still don't like the clocks. I'd like a much smaller one just up here somewhere, but it's all working. Indicators, headlight, high beam, low beam, everything, and the clocks are handy, so it's worth keeping them. Look at the stance, look at the difference. Now that's a proper wheelie bike, ready for sale. I've still got to change the handlebars. I've got them down there, look. I might start at that now. That'll really finish this bike off. So the old handlebars are off. All I've done was loosened everything and slid them off. New ones are down there, ready to go on. I have to work out where to drill the locating holes on that. Or file off the locating holes on here. It's probably easier to drill the locating holes on the new one. It's just one of them things, you've got to work out where to drill. So I'll let you know how we're going soon. So at this stage, left side is set up, located and pretty much torqued down. We don't do the middle bolts until the absolute end because we want to decide what elevation we want. I prefer it a bit higher, but others might prefer it lower like this. Also, the wires for the other stuff isn't that long, so if we bolt this down in the middle, we'll find that they don't stretch to here. So we can move this left and right still at the moment, hopefully just enough to slip on the other side. So let's get going on that and then I'll show you what it looks like. So now I've got both sides on loosely, I can elevate this where I want it and start torquing down the bits left and right until it's at a stage that I like. So take your time with this part, sit on the bike, feel it, bend the handlebars and then torque it all down right at the end. So that's the setup now. That's all torqued and set up. Some people might think these bars are a touch high, but that's what's comfortable for me. Good thing about this is you just loosen it all up and make it to what you like. Front of the bike looks great, I think. Now that's a wheelie bike. It's a street fighter, it's a wheelie bike. It's got a lot going for it, this bike. I've got some shorty levers that I'm going to throw on. If they fit, I'm not sure if they fit, but I believe they're black. It should just make it look that tiny bit better. But at this stage, it's a great bike. It's got good handlebars now. It's got a nice front end. And it's ready to be street fighter, wheelie bike, stunt bike, whatever you want to call it. Let's see if these new levers fit. That's one brake lever done. It looks so good compared to the other one. I'll swap over the other one as well soon.